Well, hello, Lisa. This is Sharon on the West Coast.
Well, hello, Sharon. This is Lisa on the East Coast. How are you today?
Oh, it's been a really rushed day already. Wow, how does that happen?
Me too. I don't know. Whatever that disease is, I have it too.
Telling you. Well, if you have popped in and you don't know what's going on, well, you have popped into Coast-to-Coast Beauty. And Coast-to-Coast Beauty consists of myself, Sharon Davis, on the West Coast.
And myself, Lisa Washington, on the East Coast. I kind of forgot my name there for a second.
That tells you what kind of day it's been so far.
Yeah. Okay. It has been. It has been.
It has been, huh? Wow. Well, we're talking today about what are we talking about?
Today we are playing a game. This is just going to be a fun way to end the month. And we're going to play a game called BFF Tag. And BFF it is stands for Best Friends Forever. And so Best Friend Forever Tag is a game where you kind of show how much you know about each other or get to know each other a little bit better. And probably, maybe discover a few things, surprising things you didn't know about each other. And we do this through asking questions and each of us provide the answer. So that's what we're going to do today. This is actually my, I think, about third time actually ever playing BFF Tag. And I always end up remembering something about myself that I forgot. And I know it sounds crazy, but yeah. And then people always end up learning something about me that they didn't know. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out. And if you've never played it, I think it's a nice game for couples to play too. Yeah, to get to know each other.
It probably is. Yeah, that's kind of, especially as you've been together for a while. You do grow, you do change, and your thinking is a little bit different. So that is a good idea, Lisa. I hadn't thought about that.
Remember that show that used to come on TV, the Newlywed Game? And they would ask those questions, and very few of those newlyweds would get it right. So, but this one, this can be played no matter how long you've been in the relationship. So, yeah, I think it's a great game to play. All right. So, I guess unless you have something else, we can go ahead and get started. You ready?
Yeah. Let's get started. Let's see what the BFF questions are all about. The last few weeks we've celebrated women. We've celebrated what is what women are about, and the history and the women's worldwide Women's Day and all of that. So now bringing it down to home to our small little group, I think that's just wonderful.
Yeah, poetic. I think it is too. Okay, so what first question should I ask? A tough one. Let's just jump in with a tough one. What kind of weird phobia do I have? What kind of weird phobia do you have? Miss
Well, I think you're afraid of snakes, right?
Yeah, that's one of them. There are actually things. Snakes is one of them. And spiders. I don't like snakes or spiders. I just think spiders are creepy, and I'm terrified of snakes. I don't watch them on TV. I don't want to see them on a still photo in a book. I mean, if I happen to walk through a room and the TV is on and I glance at the screen and see a snake, I literally scream. My husband is like, "What?" And then he'll look up at the television screen and say, "Oh," or sometimes I'll start through the room. He'll say, "Don't look, don't look, don't look." Because he knows if I get a glance of that thing on that television, I'm going to have I'm just gonna not be pretty. So he kind of says,
so that movie, what was it, 30 Snakes on a Plane or something like that?
Ooh, I never, every time the commercial came on, I couldn't even listen to it. I would, if I was in the room and could get it, I hit the mute button. If not, I just stick my hand in my ear and start la 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 till I got away. Couldn't watch the commercial, couldn't listen to the commercial. And arachnophobia, nah, never would happen. Like I said, even if it's a picture in a book, if it's a spider or a snake, I don't want no parts of it. So I don't know if it's weird phobia, but it's definitely a phobia.
I think it's a common phobia, whether you call it weird or not. It's a very common phobia. My daughter, if she a snake, not a snake, but a spider, yeah, she's in Arizona, I would hear her here.
Really? In Arizona, I thought they had, scorpion, spiders, and snakes galore.
They
right?
do.
Ooh,
they do.
You picked the wrong place to live in.
Yeah, I don't think she's adjusted to that at all. But yeah, that is true. I think they were looking at some property, and she went in this house, and they were everywhere. And yeah, that was pretty difficult for her.
Yeah. I wouldn't even trust the exterminator on that. That house would be off my list quickly.
Oh yeah, it was. It was.
But I have another weird little phobia. I mean, it's weird, and I hesitate to say it because people love pets and animals so much, but being licked. I have gone to people's house and their pet has licked me, and they're like, "Oh, she likes you." Or, "Oh, what do you have on? She loves you. She just licking your leg," or he likes you, and it just gives me the heebie-jeebies. I mean, I just shudder and get chill bumps and goosebumps all over, and so even my husband will threaten me if he wants to get my attention. He'll threaten, he'll stick out his tongue like, "I'm gonna lick you if you don't move back," and I'm out of there. I can't stand it. Now that's a weird phobia right there.
Well, I'm not particularly fond of being licked by pets either. I have an absolute phobia of cats. I mean,
okay.
And what's so really weird about it is I can sense them. I don't have to see them. I can smell them. I can feel them around me. And I'm like, oh no, my kids have always thought that was strange. My husband's always like, how did you know? I mean, because he'll think if he sees the cat and I don't see the cat, that I'll be fine. But no, I can tell they're in my environment. That's how intense my phobia is of cats. Oh,
yeah. So yeah, I think that's about as weird as I go with phobias. I'm a texture person, and just something about the texture of a wet tongue.
Yeah, cats have a very textured tongue. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. I've only been licked by a few cats, but I think dogs love to lick me. I have no idea why. I've had a few people tell me it's because I wear like sweet smelling lotions and things, and they like the smell and the taste of it, so they just come and take a little lick. All right.
They don't do that to me too often though, because I think they really pick up on that I'm afraid of them, and they kind of.
I'm not afraid of them. I'm not afraid of them. I never have a pet. I don't think I've ever have a pet simply because of that. I would never mistreat them, and I think they're adorable as long as they belong to someone else. And I have on long pants when I come into the house, or I keep my hands up, because if my hands are in my lap, they'll come and lick my hand. So anyway,
we had a loss from birth to throughout her whole life. That was the first animal I actually had throughout life, because again, the whole army brat thing, you just, when you leave, you give your dog to somebody else. When you come and they're leaving, you get somebody else's dog. So I had never had a dog from birth, through the whole birth life cycle. But this one we did, and she was old. She never had a litter. I had her spayed early because I had seen how when she was born, my coworker had to actually take maternity leave to be home with these puppies. I'm like, I can't do all that. And we actually had to take her early because her mom was very old when she had the dog. So we had to take her early, and the mom died a few days later. So we never had a litter of puppies, but there was this cat who actually had dug underneath our deck and put her puppies, her kitties, down there, and they had gotten stuck, I guess, and couldn't get out. And so my dog, she started just barking and scratching and trying to and coming and trying to get us to get attention. She was just livid that we were going to figure out what she's trying to tell us. And once we did, we were able to get the animals out of there. I wasn't, but I made sure somebody did.
I was like, oh, you do care.
Yeah, I don't want them to be. I certainly don't want them to be taken advantage of or hurt or anything like that. But I don't want them licking them.
Yeah, no. Okay, so we have that in common. All right. So, do you want to ask the next question, or?
Okay, let me pull up the list here.
Do you want
Which one are you on, the first list or the second list?
Girl, I got them both sitting in front of me.
Okay.
Highlighted in red.
Well, you're so efficient, Lisa. Just so efficient. Okay. Well, here's an easy, quick one. What is my full name?
Oh my goodness. I don't know. I just only know Sharon Davis.
So you don't know my middle name?
I do not know your middle name. So go ahead and wow me.
My middle name is Ann.
Oh, okay.
My middle name is Ann. I was actually named after my mother's first sister, my grandmother's first child, who died at birth, and she was named SharenD. Now, legally, I still have my first married name, and it's hyphenated to Davis, because when Eric and I got married, my daughter had a semester left of high school, and I just didn't want that whole, colon down there and all the different names. So I just kept that name. Plus I had license and degrees and certificates and stuff I have written and things that I didn't. Yeah, I had used that name very effectively. So I kept it.
Yeah, Sharon, I bet you paid for that name.
Okay, the name.
Pay for that name, and you were gonna use it. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So my name, my middle name is Sharon. I'm not gonna go into the second part of the last name because I actually rarely use it, but it haunts me from time to time. I thought about going through the process of just unhyphenating myself, but it's
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? I my last name when I got married, the second time, my husband adopted the 3 boys, and so we all transitioned to Washington, and we never looked at that old last name again. So there, have it back. Okay, old boy can have it. Good riddance. Okay. So that worked out really, really well. And it's hard. I think I had to get older before I realized how incredibly magnanimous and unselfish and loving it was to be a 21-year-old adopting 3 kids.
Yeah.
That
is very special.
Yes. Okay. So our 21-year-old taking on a wife and 3 kids. That was brave. Okay. So, but I had to get older and look back for me to see that. But my middle name, are you ready? Dwanda. Like Dwayne, but Dwanda. And when people see it, and it looks like Dwanda. And my grandmother, my father named me my first name, Arlita. And my mom said it was because he met some Arlita. He went to Cuba. Cuba is how he pronounced it. He went to Cuba. And when he came back, he insisted that I be named Arlita. And she said, oh, some lady in Cuba blew his mind and he came back and named you after her. And so, but my father's mother gave me my middle name, and it was Dwanda. And that's all she called me. She never called me Lisa. She never called me by my first name. And if somebody got it wrong, she would correct them. She would not let them call me Dwanda. She said, it's Dwanda. So as I got older, it didn't matter to me. I rarely used it, but I do remember how she called my name. No one else ever called my name the way she did. And we had a very special relationship. My dad's mom and I, we had a very special relationship. So there you have it. My name was Arlita Dwanda Green until I took that other name that I'm not even going to mention. It was that transition. And now it's Arlita Dwanda Washington. All right. So, but here's the thing. My name was so long that writing it all the way out in school, longhand, I used to say, I'm never going to name my kids long names. Then I got grown and named them Dominic, which is just as long. And so, hey, you know, we get older and we forget. So,
you know, the length of a name and the placement in the alphabet can become somewhat of a issue. My maiden name started with an A. So I was so cool, you know, first day of school, registered for college, you go straight to the front of the line, you get done, you go do what you're going to do, and that's that. So then I get married, go to register for the first day, and I have to go to the end of the line. And I'm like, what? Well, no, you got to come back 3 days later and then go to the end of the line. Like, what? Yeah. So that was kind of odd to me. But yeah, I appreciated getting closer to the front of the alphabet with the D. Where I was before. So yeah.
I moved to the back of the line with W. But it's okay. It's so much good stuff that came with that name. I can't even complain about being in the back of the line. Well, I ain't gonna lie. Let me just confess. I jumped the line. I have no patience. Okay, that should have been one of the questions. What is one of my vices? I have no patience. I can walk into a full hotel room, a full hotel lobby, and there'll be 20 lines of people waiting at a convention to get checked in. I'll find the shortest VIP line and walk up there like I'm not a VIP. I was like, I'm not waiting in that line.
Or, you know, the confusing. Oh, wait, where am I supposed to be?
I'm in the wrong line. I don't have to go all the way back to there. And I'm sitting up there like,
we're awful, Lisa. We're awful. Oh,
you know what? You'd be surprised at what you can't get away with. It's not breaking the law. It's
sounding like prima donnas here, Lisa.
I'm not meant to be at the back of the line. I'm sure it's written somewhere. It says, Lisa, you're not supposed to be at the back of the line. I haven't found it yet, but I know it's written somewhere.
Okay, it has to be. So I think we both know what state we were born, and I don't really like to talk about that either. So we're not going to go on that question. I'm going to go to another one though.
Okay.
What food can I not live without, Lisa? I doubt that you know the answer to that.
No, because it's something weird. You eat weird.
You know that much. I eat weird.
Burger. Let's see. What is it?
What
You're a burger. I know it's not meat. What could it be? Oh my God. I couldn't guess. I just know it's plant-based and weird. Go ahead. Confess.
It's seafood and it's not weird.
What you say?
It's seafood. It's not
seafood. No.
It's not. I love seafood.
I did not know that.
Oh man, I love seafood. I love sushi.
You okay? We have talked a million hours. You have never mentioned sushi nor seafood.
Really? No, I don't see how that's possible, because there was like a couple of weeks ago, my granddaughter was here and I told you, oh, we're getting ready to go get sushi. You just weren't paying attention.
No, you might have said we're going to get lunch.
Your granddaughter is addicted to sushi.
You might have said we're going to get lunch, or you might have said we're going to get food, but I don't recall sushi.
Oh yeah, I know.
About a near photogenic memory. So sushi. Okay, I can tolerate some sushi, but I never have woken up or thought, oh, I'm hungry. What would I like to eat? And sushi came to mind. Okay. I've eaten it on a few occasions when I've been out, with friends, and they ordered like, and the whole table share. And I tasted a few just to see. And what I know about sushi is I wouldn't leave the house or spend my money on it. But if I would eat it before I die, before I starve.
My daughter was just telling me about some, it was like nachos. It was AHA spicy tuna nachos, which she was like, oh, just bringing tears to my eyes just thinking about it. Mom. It was so good. And I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, I can have
spicy AHA tuna, made like you would do like chicken nachos or something, but you're using the spicy AHA tuna, and the chips, instead of being like Doritos, I mean like tortilla chips, it was like an egg roll
wrap. Philo, the egg roll kind of philo wrap, fried.
I don't know if they're fried or steamed, but yeah, that's what she was.
Well, how could they be tacos if they steam? Oh, I mean, I guess.
See, next time you come out to California, I'm gonna have to introduce you to some sushi.
Lord, save me from valley food.
Some real down home, have you talking Japanese sushi.
Okay.
So what food can you not?
What kind of food can I live without? Okay. I am actually. Can I not live without, or can I not tolerate?
Live without.
It is seafood, but yeah. Because I stay away from beef, and that leaves chicken and seafood, and the chicken hit the table more often than I like to admit. So I do like seafood. I love fish tacos. I like spicy shrimp. And I love different types of fish, not tilapia, but salmon, tuna, haddock. Oh my God, mahi. The list goes on. So I do like seafood. I love crab legs. I like them better when we were dating, and my husband used to crack them for me and just plain, and all I had to do was dip them in butter with my little fork. But the honeymoon is over, but I still like them really well. I love lobster, and what else? I love lobster. I love crab legs, and I love shrimp and fish. I can't stand scallops or calamari or clams.
Calamari.
What?
I love calamari. We went to this restaurant in San Francisco that had sweet and sour calamari. And it was on Pier 38, whatever that pier is.
Uh-huh.
My husband doesn't generally like calamari, but he really liked that. Oh my God! Oh my God! I'm back.
We lost you. Okay, so
Really enjoyed
the memory blew the camera out.
He really enjoyed the sweet and sour calamari, but that's the only calamari that he's generally eaten. But I love calamari and escargot.
I like escargot, but no calamari, no clams, no scallops. I can't stand scallops, but I like shark.
Oh yeah,
I like shark. So I've eaten, you know what? So that brings us, what's the weirdest food you've eaten?
Maybe, well, I've eaten elk, I've eaten deer, I've eaten snake.
I've eaten snake. That's the weirdest food I've ever eaten.
I've eaten
in New Orleans, where they call it New Orleans.
Frog legs.
I've eaten frog legs. And of course the snail, escargot. Caviar is just nasty.
Oh no.
Not even champagne can make caviar taste good.
You have to have a good blend of it. You know, every calamari, every caviar is not, you know, it's not that tasty, but there are some that are really good. Why am I keep freezing, it looks like.
Yeah, it's something, you know what, last week, remember we had the situation with the rain and your internet connection being unstable. So maybe it's just not quite as stable. But you're good now. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
But like when I move, it takes a minute for it to happen. Yeah, it's a big lag. Yeah.
So yeah, that's your internet connection, your bandwidth. Okay, so we've talked about weird foods. We've talked about middle names. Here's the tough one. I don't even know. I said, mention something you know about me that I'm not aware that you know. We might not be able to answer that one. That was a tough question right there.
Mention something that I know about you that
I don't know you know.
That you may not know that I know.
Uh-huh.
That you're really sensitive and a crybaby.
Oh my God, so busted. I am so busted. I didn't know. I thought I was doing a better job of hiding that. Oh, I'm right in that one.
You try to be tough, and you are tough.
I am tough. I'll kick you behind and go off and cry later, but you still get in the butt with me.
But you are sensitive, and you.
I'm sensitive. I am. I'm very sensitive. Oh my goodness, you told on me. Oh Lord, have mercy.
I knew that. Oh my God, I keep telling you, I raised you. My daughter's like that. She's very tough, and everybody thinks, oh, she's just so tough, but she is so sensitive. And she gets her feelings hurt very easily, although she says things to other people that you would think like, how could she possibly get her feelings hurt? Because she's just so blunt with the way she says things. But yeah, she's sensitive, and I see a lot of her characteristics in you, Lisa.
That is crazy. It's crazy. My mom told my husband when we were dating, she says, oh my goodness, Kenneth, you seem like a nice young guy. She was like, don't ever piss her off and try to go to sleep. You have to sleep with one eye open for the rest of your life, and you can't hurt her. You cannot hurt her. You'd have to kill her before you can get a tear. But I will cry. I just won't cry when I'm in battle. When I'm in battle, I'm in soldier mode. I'm not going to cry. I'm going to see how I can take you out. Then after I win, I'll go somewhere and cry.
I will cry when I'm angry. I mean, I'll cry. I am pretty sensitive, and I cry very easily. In fact, my one of my office receptionists that worked for me for a number of years, she used to say to me, I just don't understand how you can do counseling when you just cry at everything. And she said, do you sometimes cry when you're in? I'm like, well, sometimes. And I just have to kind of pull it off as professional and say, wow, that's just really hard. That's very difficult what you've been through. I mean, I'm very sorry that you had this kind of experience. I mean, and normalize the fact that emotions are okay to express, because I cry at a movie. My kids they'll peek around the corner from, if they were in another room watching something, they knew I'm watching the same thing, they would peek around the corner. See, I told you she was crying. Hallmark commercials, it doesn't matter. But that's just my sensitive part. But if I'm angry and I start crying, you probably need to get out of there.
There's a storm coming, right? I get it. Yeah, I'm busted in that. I know a lot of people don't know that about me. Only people who are really close and pay attention. All right, so you got me there. So what do I know about you that and I'm guessing here, and I'm guessing based on a few things that I've noticed. I think that you are more comfortable giving love than receiving. You give.
I'm a giver. Yeah. But I don't mind somebody dropping a couple hundred in my hand, and
I'm not talking about gifts. I'm talking about love, girl. I'm talking about just heart. I think you're more comfortable giving than you are receiving, and I think the reason why is because you are so cautious. You don't want to trust it at first. It's true. No,
that's probably true. I watch things for a long time. I look at things and interpret it and feel it out a long time.
Yeah,
that's true.
I can see that, and like I said, I watch you with your family, your granddaughter, and your children, and you are this overwhelmingly giving person. I'd be like,
cut that out too, though.
I'd be like, oh no, that's way too much giving for me. But you are not open to receiving all of that. I think if it came at you, the first thing you'd say would be like, whoa, wait a minute.
What you up to? What you up to?
Right. Yes, that's what I see about you. Yeah, that's what I know, that you might have not known that I picked that card. Okay, so I guess we should bring it down to something a little bit more tame. What do you think? Like favorite movie, favorite music, that kind of thing?
What was your first job, Lisa?
My first job was landscaping.
Oh.
I hated it.
You hated it? Oh.
I hated it. It was a summer initiative for teenagers. And, you went and signed up for the summer initiative. And then with the, oh my God, what was it called? Some kind of exchange. And you signed up for the job, but you didn't know what you're going to get assigned to. And I wanted to get assigned to office work, but I got assigned to landscaping. Okay. Do you hear me?
Did you learn anything though?
I learned that I hate landscaping. And I'm allergic to the outdoors. Which is something else that very few people know about me. I don't like being outdoors, but I have an affinity for national parks.
Oh.
How my husband is like, those two don't match. So that was my first job. That's another story. But my first job was landscaping. I hated it. And my second was stripping floors with a big buffing stripper machine that would pull me down the hall. I was too skinny to hold it. So I would just let it drag me down the hall in one direction and turn and let it drag me down the hall in the other direction. But I like that better than landscaping. It was inside and it was air conditioned.
Yeah.
Okay, your turn.
My first job and my second job was the same, but vastly different. My first job was working as a waitress at a steakhouse. I think I worked 3 days and I got fired.
Well, that's the answer to the question. Have you ever been fired?
Yeah, because I couldn't hold 5 glasses of water in my hand. And I didn't know the difference between a medium well steak and a well done. And it was a steakhouse that had, it was older people and they were regulars and they wanted things just perfect. And they were not going to give this little 14-year-old the time to learn nothing. Okay, out of here. But then my second job was a perfect fit. It was also waitressing, but it was at Pizza Hut. And that was just a perfect fit. And in fact, within a year, I was an assistant manager.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I worked there like 3 years, and while I was in college, and then high school, and then into college, and then I moved on to J.C. Penney's, and they put me in the manager position.
Oh wow!
But no waiting tables there, so that was
cool.
My shoe addiction started there.
Oh my goodness, that was one of the questions. Addictions. I used to have a shoe addiction, and but I think I've kind of broke it. But yeah, started at Riches.
I think as you get older, your shoe addiction kind of breaks itself.
Yeah, shoes and purses. I used to be addicted. Now it's like, meh. I finally cleaned out of my closet and gave a bunch of them to Goodwill. Okay, so that was first jobs. Favorite movie? Do you have one?
I'm so hard. I am so eclectic in movies. I love horror movies.
Oh no.
Yes, that's my guilty pleasure. I love vampire movies specifically. But then I also like, fried green tomatoes. But then I can go on a History Channel thing and just be lost in it. I love history. Particularly religious history. I can just meditate into that for a whole weekend, a week or so, and so forth. So yeah.
I would not have guessed that about you.
What, history or vampires?
Or history.
Oh no, I love history.
I do too. Okay, so here's one of my guilty pleasures as far as movies are concerned. Favorite movie? Yeah. All of the Disney's movies I'm just addicted to. The only one of my favorite movies that's not a Disney movie is Waterboy and Devil Wears Prada. And those two are so totally different from each other. It doesn't make any sense. But I'm fascinated with Greek mythology. And so, yeah, Mount Olympus, the Argonauts, and so what is happening is, it's funny now that Marvel movies are have taken over Hollywood. I find myself telling my husband, oh, that came from Greek mythology. That came from Greek mythology. A lot of Marvel stuff came straight out of, the
and not only that, a lot of stuff in everyday life came after it has impacted and influenced by Greek mythology. I mean, yeah. Another thing we have, like.
Okay, all right. So we were watching a movie about one of the Marvel trailers just the other day, and Kenny said, "Who is that?" And I said, "Oh, that was Thor." And he says, "Who is that other dude?" I said, "Oh, that's Loki." And so I started I went all off talking about Loki and Thor and who's the parents were, and the dynamics between them, and literally eyes glazing over, like that was way more information than I really want. I just wanted to know who it was, but I'm really fascinated with that. And so it's interesting to see this big resurgence of it, but they're not calling it that. It's called the Marvel Universe, but the whole Marvel Universe was snatched straight out of those books, which have no copyrights, by the way.
Right.
So they can do what they want with them. They don't have to pay anybody.
Well, I have to also tell you, in terms of movies, I relate very closely to the Godfather series.
Never watched it.
Never watched it. Well, you know what? It really has a lot to do with me working with guys in counseling. It really does. I mean, because there's this whole subculture of understanding in terms of, just respect and having entitlement and having a position and so forth. And I mean, just something simple like, someone saying, well, we're taking it to the mattress. I know what that means. Okay. Not many women know what that means. And so I guess I started getting interested in it just because I could see where I could kind of relate to these guys on that level. I just love The Godfather. Every one of them. I prefer to catch one of those weekends when they have the series where they. Well, not the back-to-back marathon, but there's one series that they actually took them and put them in order, because they're not shot in order.
Oh, I know nothing. What I know about them is everyone in my family and everybody that I know has watched them except me. I can quote phrases from them simply because there are a million of them floating around out there. And once I hear it, I Google and see where it came from, but I've never seen the movies. So I have no idea about the chronological order of the rollout of the movies.
Yeah, they did not come out in order. And there's, I think, Coppola himself actually took it and put them in order, which required him to break up movies and put this in here and that and so forth, so that you understand the historical pieces that happen and so forth, and how much it actually fit into American history and history within the Catholic Church, even. Again, that I mean, what is this talking? What is this one talking about? Yeah.
If you wanted me to watch it, you you only had to say it's got historical value, and I would have went on and watched it.
No, it does. It definitely has historical value, and it shows a lot of things in which how things that happen in our country and in other countries, how they intertwined, and how the mafia actually had impact on that, and how those incidents had impact on the mafia.
Oh, wow. I have to go back and take another look at that.
And I know for most women, that's probably a very boring subject matter. What is she talking about? But yes, I can get into the mafia.
Well, my husband says I was in the mafia in my former life. Because when I walk into a room, the first thing I do is scope out the exits. I always sit with my back to the wall. It's just crazy, all these little quirky habits I have. He was like, what? Were you in the mafia in your former life or something? Because you have some weird habits, but they have come, and I've had them since I was a little girl. Since I was a little girl, I want my back to the wall. I want to see the exits. And all
that comes from, not feeling safe and secure. That's, a lot of things that we do.
Yeah.
Like you said about, I'm easier to give than to receive. You're
like a geyser when it comes to giving. Yeah. Okay. So, wow.
What kind of hobbies, Lisa, did you have growing up?
What kind of hobbies did I have growing up? When I was growing up, the only real hobby I've ever had is an obsession, and it's reading. Now, I used to sew, but that just got good at it because I could make money doing it. I used to do hair, specifically braiding, cornrowing. And I got good at that. I could weave. I got good at that because I could make money. But the only thing I ever really do for pleasure that's been consistent since I guess 3 years old. I can remember when I was 3 or 4. I love to read. And I'll read anything. I'll read the label on the food. I'll read the Wall Street Journal. I'll read the NASDAQ stats. It doesn't matter. I want to read. That's my hobby. My hobby is consuming information, assimilating information. There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
And I love historical.
I was in high school. In high school, I made all of my clothes. Okay. And that was a benefit for me and my sisters because they stole all of my clothes. I made most of my clothes, although it's so much easier to just buy them now. Material was so much cheaper. It was more prevalent. It was not, no big deal to get. And
everybody.
Yeah. And I was built differently. I had the chest deep and then the, no butt. So I had to make my clothes to fit me. And then my sister right under me, she had a tiny waist and a butt. So she go and take I go to put my
and she's the alter them.
She didn't alter them to fit her body.
Oh wow, I had no competition like that. There was one final question but I cannot. Oh, here it is. Name something that I'm terrible at. That's my final question. And then we have an announcement, I believe.
Something that you're terrible at?
Mm-hmm. Either one. Something you're terrible at.
Something you're terrible at. And same thing I'm terrible at. Giving up.
That's true though. I'm terrible at giving up. I was thinking of something more physical though, but yeah, I'm really terrible at, you know what somebody said to me yesterday? Says, oh my God, Lisa, you should have been a preacher. And I said, what? And when you start talking, you're so passionate. You just should have been a preacher. And I thought, oh Lord, wash your mouth out. Yeah, I'm terrible at giving up. And I'm terrible at accepting other people giving up. That's what she was, because this person, I was like, you can't give up. You got to keep going. You got to, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, what? Are you kidding me? No, you never give up. You never surrender. Never give up, never surrender. Remember that movie? So yeah, terrible at it, both of us. But I was thinking, I'm a terrible dancer.
Really?
Yes, I you know what? I have no rhythm. I did shock you. I have absolutely no rhythm, and I can't carry a tune in a bucket. Most of the time when I'm singing, I'm lip syncing, except when I'm in the car alone. I crank the music up and blast the music and sing at the top of my lungs. And if the music go off unexpectedly, you're gonna hear it sounds like somebody's torturing a dog. So literally, I was dating somebody and they were like, babe, don't sing. Maybe hum. And then when I started humming, they was like, on second thought, don't hum, just lip sync. That's where it came from. Okay, so
I used to. Lisa, are you there?
I am. Can you hear me?
We lost Lisa now.
I'm still here.
Okay.
Am I gone? Really?
We'll wait for her to pop back.
Oh, well.
But I have to tell you, I could sing, but as I got older and asthma just really kind of took my singing voice. My coworkers used to tell me, no, you just play the radio. Just play. Lisa, where are you? You should be able to come back with the same link.
It doesn't look like I'm out. Let's see here.
Maybe if I bring her down and bring her back up. This is interesting. Ah, there she is. Okay. Yeah. So what happened?
I was talking. I could still see myself. I was moving, but you couldn't hear me. And so when you was like,
I couldn't see you.
When you were gone, I knew you were gone. When I was gone, I couldn't. I was like, okay, I picked up my phone. I was like, let me text you. But then I used the link. I guess that's a hint for us to go ahead and try to shut it down. So yeah. I think we were finishing up with can't dance, can't sing. And I was on a dance team, but you don't have to know how to dance to be on a dance team. You have to know how to count and you have to know how to memorize routines. And I have a really good memory and I can count pretty decently. And so, yeah, I spent years on a dance team when am I not good at it? I don't enjoy it. I just don't enjoy it. But I was on the dance team because I enjoy being in a team environment, not because I enjoy dancing. It was the only team that I could actually fit in reasonably. I couldn't be on the basketball or the soccer or the baseball or any of those other sports teams. So the dance team was it. And so that's something a lot of people don't know about me. All right, so enough of that. We were going to talk about a couple of announcements, right?
Right. That this is something, so exciting that we are at this place. 6 months now. We have been doing Coast-to-Coast Beauty.
Yeah, time flies.
It has, and it's been a very, very interesting endeavor. It's been fun. I think it's grown us in a lot of ways that we didn't expect.
I agree.
Yeah. It's made us grow in ways we just never expected we would have evolved into. And so
impact that we never expected either.
Pardon me?
It's also had an impact that we didn't fully expect.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah, it's had an impact.
We've talked about ways that we want to continue growing with Coast-to-Coast and some other endeavors that we want to be involved in. So the month of April, you want to tell them, Lisa, what's April?
Oh, you tell. You tell.
The month of April, we're going to spend each week just celebrating Coast-to-Coast and what we've done so far. Each of us have, specific episodes that are just, our hearts, and each of us have things that came out of it that was shocking to us and so forth. And we've opened up in so many different ways, and we just want to be able to celebrate that. So each week in the month of April, we're going to do that. We are still going to stay on Saturdays during the month of April. And we would like you to help us, because we, in the course of moving, we have kind of transitioned, and we've gained a smaller audience, but a different audience. And that's kind of interesting too. So we'll be looking at ways to make sure that people find us and so forth. And we'd like to hear from you. What are some of your favorite episodes? And they're all right there on the face-to-face, on the Coast-to-Coast Facebook page, on the Facebook page for Coast-to-Coast. They're right there. You can go on there and look at them, and let us know which ones you found value in, which ones you found the most value in.
Yeah.
Because that's what we want to do, is to provide value for that's relevant value to people.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And, speaking of value, sometimes it might not be very evident at the beginning what kind of value is there. And one of the things that I've noticed is interesting, the episodes that people do find value in and what that value was, For instance, just like this one that we're doing today. I tell you, friendship is not something to be taken lightly or taken for granted. It is something to be nourished. And sometimes we think that if we meet somebody and we get along with them, and then we're just friends, but friends need to be friendships or relationships, just like husband and wife and boyfriend and girlfriend. They're relationships that need to be nurtured. And so, yeah, doing something as simple as playing BFF tag could help grow that relationship. And, something like this could help grow a romantic relationship. So sometimes the value is, you have to get into it to see the value, but there is always some value mixed in with a little bit of wit and the laughter. Okay. So we've enjoyed bringing that to the community. So when someone says, well, why y'all do it? And I said, well, it's a community service. Okay. It's a community service. Trust me, there are some people who need to hear it. And sometimes they're not on always live. Oftentimes they're the replay. People that want to watch it in the privacy and the inconspicuousness away from the limelight in the camera. But they do let us know in messages that they watch and that they got value from it. So we really appreciate that. Yeah.
So join us next month as we celebrate our baby, Coast-to-Coast Beauty, and look at some of the things and directions that we intend to take it as we continue this journey that we just happen to fall into.
And if you have some topics you'd like to see us, even though we have April already laid out, but if you have some topics that you'd like to see us cover, please, send us a message and let us know. And, we'll see what we can do about putting that in the lineup for the next 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll have to do a real celebration when we get to 1 year.
Oh, yes, definitely.
All right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we have obviously come to the end of another successful Coast-to-Coast Beauty.
Yes, we have.
Episode. I am SharenD Davis on the West Coast.
And I am Lisa Washington on the East Coast. And together we are Coast-to-Coast Beauty.
So we're going to give you our traditional sign off.